Welcome to the Fantasy Football Show on SicEm365 Radio, presented by Brotherwell Brewing and Richard Carr Buick GMC Cadillac.
Motion man Landry. Mayfield sells the fake. Mayfield rifles. Touchdown. Landry.
Here's Paul Catalina, Steve May, and Grayson Grundhafer.
Welcome into the Fantasy Football Show here on SicEm365 Radio, brought to you by Brotherwell Brewing, where I spent between shows today. I went to Brotherwell.
Awesome.
I know you guys were here, but I went there to our sponsor.
Good man.
To see them. And Steve, I've committed us to something. At least me, but January 6th, you and I are doing trivia at Brotherwell. Unless you can't do it, and it'll be me. And
what day of the week is that?
That's a Thursday.
I can do it.
There you go. January 6th. Grayson, if you want to come up January 6th, you can come do trivia with us at Brotherwell on Thursday.
We're going to be
fun.
We're going to be the host, right?
We're the host. We're not competing. We're the host of trivia.
Because that wouldn't be fair.
Yeah. No, let's come on. I don't know what Grayson's skill level is in trivia. I'm assuming that there's parts of, since he's younger than us, he would know.
Sports only.
Okay. So, but you and I mean, and guess what? We get to make up our own category.
Okay.
They give us, there's 6 categories. They do 5 of them.
So we're the guests for one.
No, we host the whole thing, but we get to have a category that's straight from the brains of you and me.
Are we doing a signing or anything before? Or
we'll get that. We'll get down.
Headshots.
We'll get. You and I'll get together. We'll do some new headshots made because my old one does have the beard in it. So
guys, this isn't signing day for y'all. This is signing day for the 2021 class.
Yeah.
Is the glamour shot still open in the mall?
Yeah, that's what we'll do. You can do the jacket pose.
Yeah.
It's like
I'm going full. I'm doing full feathered boa and. Do you soft glow light around my head?
I know this has nothing to do with fantasy football, but I do wonder, did you guys have to do that high school photo with a jacket where they had you, anybody ever in their life has popped a collar on a jacket and then looked back?
No.
Like that?
No.
Yeah,
No.
We had to do that. They did a leather jacket photo for us. I grew up in South Florida. How many people wear leather jackets in Southwest Florida? All right, a lot to get to fantasy football-wise this week, but first, let's crack a cold one here.
Fresh from the source.
Yes. This is just canned literally yesterday.
Nice.
So, fresh off the line from Brotherwell. I got a little Bridge Street vid here. What's your supply like there?
My supply's dwindling, guys, and I don't have one today, even though I have enjoyed one the past 6 weeks. So it's been great drinking some Brotherwell, that's for sure.
All right. Well, we'll remedy that here soon. Grayson. All right, guys. The playoffs have begun in most fantasy football leagues, and Steve is 1-0. I am 1-0.
Yes.
In the we're in the league that we're in together. I didn't make the playoffs, but in my other league, I'm the one I made the playoffs. I won, and I was the 8 seed. I knocked off the 1 seed, so everyone loves me now again. Grayson, your playoffs, how did they go week 1?
Really good, guys. I'm actually in 4 Final Fours and a championship that's a 2-week long championship. So I'm rolling. I only didn't make the playoffs in one of my leagues, and in the other ones, I'm moving right along.
All right, there we go. So see, now that gives us some street cred.
Yeah.
As people who know what we're doing. We're not just up here making things up.
Yeah. And in the league that you and I are in is the league. This is our 23rd year. I squeaked in as the number 6 seed. So the top 2 seeds had a bye, so I was taking on the number 3 seed who has Patrick Mahomes. And I'm not going to get into the whole dialogue about what happened. If you were watching Monday Night Football, you know how crazy that game was. And my opponent was done. I was down by 7, and I had the Baltimore defense and Jason Tucker, the kicker.
Justin Tucker.
I've been saying Jason all day.
Former Cowboys wide receiver.
Yes.
It's from Robinson, isn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. So I felt good, I got this in the bag before the game starts. And then the game starts, and right off the bat, the game script is not going good for me. It's back and forth, and Cleveland's putting up points. The Ravens are not getting sacks or anything. They finally get a turnover, and it looked like an easy pick six, but the guy gets tackled on the 1 yard line, so I'm still in the hole. So long story short, it gets down to those last couple of minutes. ESPN on their projection had me at a 1% chance to win. So it was 99% to 1%. I needed what ended up happening is exactly what I needed to happen. So I'm down by 1.08 points, and Baltimore somehow gets the ball back. They get in field goal range, and Tucker kicks the field goal to give me the win. And then to pour salt on the wound, they get the safety there at the end, so I get an even extra 2 points to get the win. So it was crazy. It was the most probably the most exciting playoff I've been involved in.
Yeah,
at that point.
I'll say this: you and I are in a. We're all in DraftKings leagues together, but there's a DraftKings, a big DraftKings league that you host, and I was winning most of the day. Like, I had a really good team. And then, like, at the end of the day, bowling for soup started coming for me. And I was I'm sitting there thinking, oh, my God, I'm going to get 1985 right out of this thing. And so it got down to it was the Packers game. And I texted you. I said, look, if the Packers get the ball back and throw one pass, I'm screwed here.
Yeah, yep.
Well, they did, but they were winning, so they didn't, and took knees, and I lost. And I thought, like, what must Jarrett be thinking right now? Thinking, like, oh, I've got this.
You won.
Yeah, I won, but they didn't, and like exactly what needed to happen happened,
yeah.
And I won by less than a point.
It was 0.28.
0.28, so less than a half a point.
Yeah.
So 0.28, I won that. And I'm thinking, like, what must Jarrett be thinking here? Like, and then, like, I watched it as Aaron Rodgers takes 2 knees, it drops, like a tenth of a point and a tenth of a point. And I thought, well, that's just wrong.
It was crazy, and then the safety that the Ravens ended up getting, I saw today, in terms of the betting world. Swung $1 million or more one way with that, because it changed the spread of the game. But, yeah, and we can talk about it here in a little bit, but in our 3-man contest, I was victorious.
Yes.
Again.
Yeah, you did. You stopped my winning streak,
yes.
And, that's fine.
I got second again.
Yeah.
Has Grayson won
usual.
that? Has Grayson won that yet?
Yeah. Have you won that yet?
No, I've gotten second, I think, almost every time except for once. I got third, I think, something along those lines. It's getting really frustrating, guys.
Well, maybe this is your week, Grayson. There's an interesting showdown this week, which we'll get to in the next segment, which is Las Vegas and the Chargers, the Los Angeles Chargers, formerly of San Diego, of Southern California. That should be an offensive show. So much like last weekend, thanks to Kostaki Kanalopoulos, we won $4. So we
need a celebrity every week.
We need a celebrity every week to guarantee it. I think next week I'm going to get the guys from Brotherwell to be our celebrities. I get them in the studio and they can do that. So they can help us pick that game this week. So maybe we should let Armstrong. Armstrong, how'd the playoffs go for you last week?
Very well. Very well.
So
I am
are you
in the championship
game?
Oh. I was in the Final Four, and I won my game 169-90.
Oh, wow. So who are you playing in the championship game?
I'm playing my brother.
Your brother? Okay.
Yes.
Who's in 3rd grade?
No. No, he's in college. But, so yeah, that's
this the
intense.
Auburn brother?
No, this is the UNC brother, so.
Okay, good deal.
That's intense. I mean, you can't have a more intense opponent.
By the way, if you've ever wondered what Armstrong looks like, that's it right there. So, ladies,
there I am.
Line up.
Yeah.
We're at 101 Elm. If you'd like to meet Armstrong, just come on down.
Grayson can't see me, though.
Oh, he can't see you?
I can't.
Okay.
I'm bummed. I got to see him this morning, though.
Yeah, that's true.
That's right. Grayson and Armstrong have been at it at signing day today since 7 o'clock this morning. And Grayson even earlier because he had to drive up here. So
4 a.m., baby.
Yeah.
4 a.m.
So anything, but I mean, we talked about this before we started the show. Nothing catastrophic injury-wise. Raheem Mostert might not play, but that's kind of par for the course. Deebo Samuel's out, and like he had come back and had a couple of decent. We won really good week and one passable week.
Now that I'm thinking about it, the only one that might be of significance for this week, we don't know yet if Alex Smith is going to play.
Yeah.
which that's actually big in that game because if you go to Haskins, you probably don't want to play any Redskin receivers this week because Smith has been doing so well. But I think they're thinking he's probably going to play, but it's not for certain. So that's the only one that really pops into my head of anything major.
I have one more.
Okay.
I believe Ronald Jones has a broken finger, and he was kind of in line to really take the lion's share of the carries. Had a good week last week.
He's out. He's been ruled out with COVID today.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty big loss, guys. He was taking over that backfield.
Well, and Leonard Fournette was a healthy scratch last week.
Yeah.
So
Shady McCoy time.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
But Marquise Hollywood Brown is out for COVID, and Ronald Jones is out for COVID.
All right. Let's take a break here. When we come back, we'll talk daily fantasy. Fresh off my best week of daily fantasy maybe in my life, as far as not total dollars but total wins. I won everything but the three of us. Everything I was in, I won them all. So it was a great week for me, daily fantasy wise. Other than the three of our league, which I started out well that day, and then died on the vine because of Grace and I both picked the Panthers defense against the Broncos. And, Grayson, I thought was a great piece of advice last week, which was, look, the Panthers are playing the Broncos. That offense is terrible. And then it wasn't terrible the other day.
Nope, 4 touchdowns.
So
typical. The NFL, guys. You just never know sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, when we come back, we'll get into daily fantasy. This is the Fantasy Football Show, brought to you by Richard Carr, Buick GMC Cadillac, and Brotherwell Brewing.
Born in Waco, Brotherwell Brewing exists to serve the Central Texas community with locally crafted beer of the highest quality. They want to bring Central Texas closer to the brewing experience so everyone can enjoy well-made beer as much as they do. For 2.5 years, they've been bringing high-quality beer to Central Texas at their location on Bridge Street in East Waco. And this football season, you need to stop by on game day for curbside pickup or stop by their tent next to SicEm365 at Brazos Parking for your pregame refreshment. Brotherwell Brewing believes in community and bringing people together to enjoy products made in their community. So for your game day, whether it's a tailgate or at home, stop by Brotherwell Brewing for high-quality craft beer made right here in Central Texas, 400 East Bridge Street, and check them out online at brotherwell.com.
From the first workout to the last practice, sports is an incredible challenge. Hi, this is Dan Ingram with the First National Bank of Central Texas, and we're proud to support each athlete, every parent, and our educators. From families, small businesses, to the biggest industry, we're here to help. With remarkable products like instant issue debit cards free at all of our banking centers, we've got banking ideas that fuel big dreams. The First National Bank of Central Texas, familiar faces making local decisions.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Car has the trucks, man. They have the one for you. Crew cab, short or long bed, silver, black or blue. Texas size selection, great prices too. Richard Carr, he has the truck for you. Carr has the trucks, man. He has the truck you need. If you want the best truck, you want a GMC. Texas size selection, great prices too. Richard Carr, they have the truck for you.
Welcome back into the Fantasy Football Show here on SicEm365 Radio. I'm Paul Catalina, alongside Steve May, and in our Austin Bureau, Grayson Grundhafer.
I should have wore a hat. I feel like my forehead is, like my legs did that one episode. I feel like my forehead is...
We'll get you some foundation or something. Nice little powder.
Some powder.
Armstrong's really washed out in the lighting from the computer. I mean, he really is. He looks like almost it's kind of like we're putting him back there and like he's
Looks
under
like
a
he's
heat
in
lamp.
a hostage video.
Yes, it does. Well, it's an iMac webcam, so I mean...
You can't adjust the lighting on that?
No.
They don't. It is like it's set.
Well, I could put a light on me to even out the lighting.
Yeah.
But right now it's just on auto.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
it's just trash. So.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, we'll need to work on that because you honestly look like we are like. You want to say, like, they're being very nice to me. Everything is good.
Yeah, I want to change it just so I can stop getting these jokes.
Yeah.
Because every time I cut to myself.
Long live the cause of the Lizard King. Send a helicopter and $1 million, and they will let me live. So, all right, guys, daily fantasy this week. Steve won our league, which means he gets to pick first. He gets to make the cap, which is actually not even that really much of a reward. No. Because picking the captain's the toughest thing.
Yeah.
You're getting max value, but he gets to pick the captain in our Showdown League. We won $4. Kostaki texts me and right in the beginning of the game and says, we've got to be doing really well. And I was like, well, we're winning $4. And he's like, how is that? And so we were behind. The people who were winning were the people who had the Rams defense, which we did not have because the Rams defense did very well last week.
Yeah,
so that was the difference. Honestly, that was the difference between $4 and $7,000 for us was not picking the Rams defense. Honestly, because our lineups were almost exactly the same as.
It's crazy too with daily fantasy on a smaller scale like we're talking about, or on a bigger one, because you'll look. It was a few weeks ago in one of the big guaranteed prize pools. The team I had did pretty well, and I think it was a $1 game, and I ended up winning I think maybe $5 on it. But if you look, the person that won first place, which was I think they got $1,500. There was only like 12 points between us. But between him and me, there was a ton of people there with, the decimal point scoring that's very, finite in daily fantasy. So when you look at it, it can hurt a little bit, can sting, but you keep playing because you realize, it's kind of like golf. When you hit that one good shot, it keeps you coming back. When you get that close with DraftKings or whatever you're playing, that keeps you coming back, and you think, okay, surely one of these weeks I'm going to hit the big time.
All right, Grayson, let's go to you first. Daily fantasy this week. Who do you like?
Oh, just throughout the week in general. Well, you know what? Looking at the quarterback position, I think this is one of those weeks where I really like a guy like Matthew Stafford, but I don't know if he's going to play. But he's taking on the Titans. He'd be a nice play. He's questionable right now, looking very iffy on if he's going to play or not. I like Phillip Rivers this week against Houston. He's been pretty steady over the course of the past few weeks. So if you just want a safe play for kind of cheap, I think he'd be a good play there as well. Also on the cheap, I kind of like Tom Brady this week against Atlanta. I know 6,600 is somewhat expensive, but I believe he's the 8th quarterback as far as price goes. So I would definitely look at Tom Brady this week. At running back, guys, the trend is finally caught up to me. Jonathan Taylor is out of my budget now at 7,200. He's finally getting the carries. If you have the money, spend it on him because he's playing Houston this week. Houston has the worst run defense in the entire NFL. This is also a week where I would spend up to pay for guys like maybe a Jonathan Taylor. I would pay up for Alvin Kamara because I think there's going to be a lot of points against Kansas City this week. But as far as guys a little bit lower, I think you got to like the steady hand of Cam Akers currently. I think he's going to get a ton of touches. He's definitely a good play, even though he's kind of expensive as well. I like Damian Harris this week as a guy that's on the low end, $5,100. I think Damian Harris could be a nice play against Miami. Moving on to the wide receiver position, some guys this week that I like at wide receiver. This is kind of a weird week because, guys are out, so it might be a little bit less than household names, but Brandon Ayuk without Deebo Samuel, you got to play him. I've been talking about this kid a ton all year long. Last week, I think he got 17 targets, guys.
Yes. Yep.
That's an absurd number. I'm playing him everywhere I go. So that means I have dibs, guys. So y'all aren't allowed to play him in our 3-team league, our three-team thing. And then finally, also at wide receiver, I like Amari Cooper this week. He's been on a tear, guys. 3 touchdowns over the past 3 weeks. I really like what he's doing. He continues to be steady with Andy Dalton at quarterback. And then finally, another guy who's really hot right now, and I like playing the hot hand, T.Y. Hilton. Play T.Y. Hilton. He has been the man in Indy over the past few weeks, so he's another really good option out there.
All right, Steve, what do you got?
Quarterback, I do like Brady this week. Tampa's playing Atlanta. I think that's a great game for him to kind of bounce back, especially if Ronald Jones doesn't go. I think they'll rely on Brady a little bit more. So I think that's a good matchup. He's coming in at 6,600, which isn't too bad. I also like Jalen Hurts. Eagles are playing the Cardinals. I see that game, and I'm hoping that game because I'm going to be playing Kyler Murray in my season-long semifinal. And by the way, last week I asked y'all, in season-long, do I play Kyler or Baker? Mm-hmm. Everybody said Kyler. Mm-hmm. And I still won, but for the third week in a row, Baker outscored Kyler Murray. And so we'll talk about it later, but I kind of have the same dilemma this week. So I do like Jalen Hurts with Philly. Running back. So Grayson actually mentioned 3 running backs I wanted to mention real quick. So you got Kamara at 7,400. You have Jonathan Taylor at 7,200. And then you have David Montgomery at 7,000. Out of those 3, if you're looking to save a couple $100, I'm actually leaning towards Montgomery. They're playing Minnesota. Minnesota run defense isn't that great. Chicago's been playing well with Trubisky, actually. And Montgomery's been one of the hottest running backs the last 3 weeks. So between those 3, to save a little bit of money, I would go towards Montgomery. I also like Chris Carson. He's coming in at 6,800. Seattle is playing Washington. So I think that's a good matchup there. Receivers, Grayson mentioned Ayuk. I think that's a no-brainer. I think in pretty much every lineup you got to throw him in there. Also, T.Y. Hilton. I'm going to be doing some Colt stacks this week in some of the bigger contests. So I will have some Rivers, T.Y. Hilton, and Jonathan Taylor stacks going in probably 5 or 6 different lineups that I put together. They're playing Houston. The over-under on that one is 51, which is actually one of the higher over-unders for the week. So they are expecting points to be scored in that game. So I think that's a good one to look at. And then where'd he go? I kind of like Antonio Brown this week. He's at 5,400. He hasn't scored a touchdown yet with Tampa since he's been back. I do think he scores this week. I think he gives Brady a nice target there in that matchup against Atlanta. For tight ends, real quick, for Chicago, Cole Kmet has kind of come out of nowhere.
He's a rookie, and he's in, and he and Trubisky kind of have a vibe.
Yeah, so. And he's I know
Jimmy Graham
scored the touchdown last week, but Kmet was on the field more. The volume is there for him. So if you want to go cheap on tight end, he's only at 3,000.
Actually, I did a lineup based on almost everything that you guys have just said here. I had to pick a random wide receiver, and I picked Russell Gage from Atlanta, who with their kind of injury issues there, to me looked good. And I picked the Colts defense against Houston because I had the money to do it, and Houston turns the ball over a lot, and they can't run the ball. They just can't run the ball.
Just real quick, I mentioned stacks every week, and so some games to look at for stacks. I already mentioned Indianapolis. I'd throw some combos in there. Tampa, I would definitely have a Brady, maybe a Brady, Godwin, and Brown stack thrown together. That's another high-scoring game. And then Kansas City, New Orleans. A Kansas City stack always does well. Now, if you're paying up for Mahomes and Kelsey, and maybe Hardman or Watkins, that's going to cost you, but it could pay off.
All right, guys, let's get into it. Our draft for the showdown, which is the Chargers and the Raiders. Steve, you have the first pick, and there's a lot of super valuable guys. Sometimes you get into it, and the most valuable player is the quarterback, and he's at 17,000 or something, and then you can get your captain at, reasonably at 9,000. That's going to be tough to do this week, as you get the people at 9,000 are now the backup quarterbacks in this game.
Yeah.
Because of there's so many playmakers available. So,
and the captain can make a huge difference. For Monday night's game, I played a showdown with the Baltimore Cleveland, and I was doing well. I was in like 14th place and was winning, some decent money. Mm-hmm. And I had Kareem Hunt, and when he scored that late touchdown, I went up, but everybody that had Kareem Hunt in their captain spot went up a great deal more than me. So even though my guy had scored, I actually went down in the rankings of that contest and ended up not winning as much money as I was at that point. So the Raiders announced today that I think they've got 5 defensive starters that are going to be out for various reasons. Farrell's going to be out. I forget who else was on the list. So that makes me kind of lean towards the Chargers here. So I am going to go, it's going to cost, but I'm going Austin Eckler.
Austin Eckler, okay.
For captain.
15-6. So $3,400. Grayson, 34-4 to you now after Austin Eckler is the pick. And
also Henry Ruggs is out for COVID.
Yeah. So, all right, Grayson.
Yeah, Steve, I really like that pick. I saw Jonathan Taylor run all over the Raiders last weekend. I think it's going to be more of the same there. And I also think the Raiders are going to be playing from behind for a lot of this game, which makes my pick at this spot pretty easy. I'm going to be taking Darren Waller here with our second pick.
All right, $9,400 on Darren Waller, so that leaves us at $25,000. Yeah, he's worth it. All right, so
we're going to get creative.
We're going to have to start getting creative. Okay, all right, so I'll do this. I have back-to-back picks. I'll do the deep discount one first at $5,800 Hunter Henry.
Okay.
And
he's still questionable right now. I don't know if
he's not listed as questionable anymore.
Okay, good. So maybe he practiced.
Really like that pick.
Yeah.
Especially if Mike Williams is out.
Yeah. Mike Williams is a person I'm not going to pick because it's something we're going to have to deal with.
What do they show Williams? I'm just curious. Is Williams questionable?
He is questionable.
Okay.
And limited in practice. So,
okay.
All right. So the next pick I will make, we have 19-2 left. You know, like I think it's kind of silly not to take Josh Jacobs in this game, right? Is it silly, or is he still kind of banged up?
No,
he was a little banged up last week. It looked like, but
yeah.
I mean, the thing is, we're kind of up against it here.
How much is Aguilar?
Aguilar $7,400. So, and
he'll be the number one after Waller.
Yeah. So yeah, let's go with Aguilar. So we have 11-8 left.
Okay, I'm just going to, I guess, stick with the theme here because I really think the Raiders are going to have to throw this football a whole lot with Mike Williams out. I don't think I can trust a Charger, so I'm going to go with Hunter Renfrow here. I think he's going to get us some catches, some targets, so he seems like the next best available guy to me.
Okay, Hunter Renfrow at $4,800. That leaves you $7,000, Steve. And there are... How
much is Tyron Johnson?
Tyron Johnson is $5,000.
I mean, he had 7 catches last week with Williams getting hurt early, so that's intriguing.
And we could afford Williams. It's just a matter if he plays or not.
Yeah.
And I need to know that too for my season long semifinal. He's right now. I have him on the bench.
Well, he gave me a 0 in our matchup this week, which is why I lost.
Yeah. So it's his back. So one big hit, even if he starts a big hit in that game, he could be out again after a couple of series. So, do I want a kicker?
All right, your kickers: Badgley at $3,800 and Carlson at $3,600.
Wow, the backup Chargers kicker is worth more than Carlson.
What's up with that? Who am I missing? Who am I leaving out other than Tyron Johnson?
Now here's one.
Justin Jackson, backup running back.
Yeah.
Fabian Moreau, who caught a long touchdown last week, is $1,000.
I'm gonna go Tyron Johnson. Let's go Tyron Johnson.
Tyron Johnson. All right. That leaves us $2,000. Meaning that, and see, but we can't, like, even if we got rid of that.
We don't have any quarterbacks, do we?
We have no quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Neither of the two quarterbacks.
How much are the two quarterbacks?
Herbert is 11.8 and Derek Carr is 10,000.
So so even if we swapped out Aguilar, That
you can't get one.
Yeah. Let's go no quarterback.
No quarterback. All right. No quarterback. Here we go. I've entered this lineup. Austin Eckler, Hunter Henry. What's his name? Tyron Johnson?
Mm-hmm.
Tyron Johnson from the Chargers, and for the Raiders, Darren Waller, Hunter Renfrow, and Nelson Aguilar.
Now, you need to watch that. If Williams is active, do we agree we switch him in? If he's
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah, we do.
Okay.
So
I don't think he's going to play. I just have a feeling.
no, it doesn't look. I mean, he's limited in practice, and it's a short week.
Yes.
It doesn't trend.
Yeah, the game's tomorrow. So.
It doesn't trend that way. So sure, I always err on the side of caution in short weeks. Unless it's somebody like if Josh Jacobs is in your lineup, then you have to err on the side of like waiting to the last minute and then taking some.
You saw what Jacobs did on Sunday, didn't he? He trolled the whole fantasy world.
Yeah.
Because they said he was active, and then he goes on Instagram and says, I know I'm active, but I'm not going to play. And then he ended up playing. So he was just jacking with people.
Yeah. So
Not cool, Josh. Not cool.
not cool. No. I hope you're on the cover of Madden for that. Which now the game sucks, so maybe there's no Madden curse. Apparently. I don't know. I'm too old to play video games now.
Who told you it sucks?
I've heard it's like, like Deontay, who works for us sometimes, is a huge video game fan.
Yeah.
He said the newest Madden, the gameplay's terrible.
No, we like it in our house.
You like it in your house?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Grayson, where do you
played it
stand
yet.
on this?
I haven't played the new one yet, guys. I did see Matt Rule's graphic was pretty rough. That does not look like Matt Rule at all, but I haven't seen the gameplay at all.
Yeah. Next time, I'm going to ask Matt about that the next time we have him on the show.
Can we get, now that we're talking about video games, can we get Sony to be a sponsor and get us a PS5?
PS5? I'll work on that.
Okay, work on that.
I'll
Just for the studio.
Just for the studio, I'll get 4. I'll get one for all of us, and then one for the studio.
That's your.
No, I'll get 5. Grace or Armstrong, would you like a PS5?
Of course.
Okay, I didn't know if you
I
were.
mean, if you're giving them out.
Yeah, I didn't know if you were a video game guy or not.
I'm not really, but
Yeah, so
I would still take one.
yeah, deal.
So Jarrett, my middle son.
Sony, if you're watching,
Yeah.
look, you're not gonna get much better promotion than this.
I know.
I mean, you're not. Just so give us a PS5. Maybe this should be a segment where we just swing for a gigantic sponsor like Sony. Like, look, BMW, I'm talking to you. I'm tired of you ducking our calls.
So my middle son graduated from high school, and his graduation present, he wanted a PS5, knowing that it wasn't coming out till the fall. And we're like, okay, that's fine. And so now we're here, and we can't get our hands on one. And so once we do, it's going to be a graduation / Christmas present. And so if you're out there and you got to hook up, let us know.
Look, I'm Italian, so we'll let something fall off a truck, if you know what I'm saying, for Steve here. So if it falls off a truck, gets shipped to the wrong place, hey.
Bada bing.
Oh. I mean, you just got to go, hey. I don't know. This is like the international, like, how'd you get a deal like this? I don't know. That guy has a thing. He just, he's,
The thing.
Yeah,
The thing.
yeah, the thing.
Yeah, it's a thing with a guy in the place.
Yeah.
So, all right, when we come back, Stacy's got some good questions this week for us. My college roommate, Stacy E. Reed, attorney at law. He has several questions for us. He lost in our playoffs, so he's out. He made a nice run towards the end of the year. He had a good team to start with, but he had the first pick in the draft, which is Christian McCaffrey, and that kind of torpedoed him early in the season. And so he finally fought back out of it, got in the playoffs, and then lost this last week to a team that had, get this, guys, both Derrick Henry and Jonathan Taylor.
Oh,
no.
Wow. Yeah.
So he had no shot.
Nope.
Oh, and Kyler Murray. That's that team. That was his draft, and
nice.
I think the guy who did that, those picks went on auto pick because he was late. He showed up an hour late to our draft, and he had the best draft in the world.
Wow.
It's pretty impressive.
Yeah,
Who let him do that? You let those guys pass.
Well, I mean,
man.
no, the problem is that where he was picking, it's just like, okay, because he had that pick, the Have Amari Christmas team, that's his team name. Have Amari Christmas had the pick, and I'm sitting there going, this is going to auto draft, and like, here we all are, and he's going to get Derrick Henry. All right, good deal.
Yep.
And then, like, Jonathan Taylor was one that was a little bit later. Like, that was one of his later picks, like, right before he got there. And then he comes and sits down. And he's like, oh, hey, I'm here, guys. How am I doing? And we're like, go to HE double hockey sticks, buddy, with your auto draft hour. I should do a thing where the auto draft, if you're not there, the rankings are inverted. Like, you don't show up. It just goes from the bottom up and not the top to incentivize you to show up. All right, when we come back, Stacy's questions, start 'em, sit 'em. This is the Fantasy Football Show brought to you by Brotherwell Brewing and Richard Carr Buick GMC Cadillac.
Born in Waco, Brotherwell Brewing exists to serve the Central Texas community with locally crafted beer of the highest quality. They want to bring Central Texas closer to the brewing experience so everyone can enjoy well-made beer as much as they do. For 2.5 years, they've been bringing high-quality beer to Central Texas at their location on Bridge Street in East Waco. And this football season, you need to stop by on game day for curbside pickup or stop by their tent next to SicEm365 at Brazos Parking for your pregame refreshment. Brotherwell Brewing believes in community and bringing people together to enjoy products made in their community. So for your game day, whether it's a tailgate or at home, stop by Brotherwell Brewing for high-quality craft beer made right here in Central Texas, 400 East Bridge Street, and check them out online at brotherwell.com.
From the first workout to the last practice, sports is an incredible and rewarding challenge. Hi, everyone. This is Dan Ingham with the First National Bank of Central Texas, and we're proud to support each athlete, every parent, and our educators. From families, small businesses, to the biggest industry, we're here to help. With remarkable products like mortgage lending, we've got banking ideas that fuel big dreams. The First National Bank of Central Texas. Familiar faces making local decisions.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Car has the trucks, man. They have the one for you. Crew cab, short or long bed, silver, black or blue. Texas size selection, great prices too. Richard Carr, he has the truck for you. Carr has the trucks, man. He has the truck you need. If you want the best truck, you want a GMC. Texas size selection, great prices too. Richard Carr, they have the truck for you.
Welcome back into the Fantasy Football Show here on SicEm365 Radio. Before we get into Stardom, Sit-em, and Stacey's questions, do you think we should make sure Armstrong wins his championship this week, or is he doing well enough without us we don't need to mess with it? I mean, he's been on a streak since the first time we dealt with it.
I was going to ask for some advice on my lineup as well.
All right, good deal. Okay, let's do that then. Okay, Armstrong, do you want our advice for your championship matchup?
Yeah, I'll definitely take it.
All right.
But hold on, I get it loaded up.
He won't use it, but he'll listen.
No, I will use it.
Yeah.
I have no idea what I'm doing. So.
I mean, look, if you win your first year in the league, Armstrong.
Yeah.
Is there a trophy? Is there any kind of prize, like a gift certificate to Chili's or something? Like,
so the week where we had you drop your extra kickers and defenses, did the rest of the league say, "Hey, how'd you figure that out?"
No, but that was when the guy offered me the trade to try to get me to trade away Derrick Henry, and then he made some other shady trades. But I just beat him. He's the guy. That's the guy I just beat by like 80 points. So that felt good.
Yeah, and he asked you to do that because he knew that Derrick Henry. Yeah. And Derrick Henry also he gets better as the season goes along.
Yep.
So.
So here my lineup.
And his schedule loosened up too, which is nice.
Yeah, my lineup is Josh Allen, Derrick Henry. I have Adrian Peterson right now because I picked him up last second and put him in. Allen Robinson, DK Metcalf, Hunter Henry, Devontae Adams, the Cardinals D, and Jason Myers, Seattle kicker.
All right, who's on your bench? Who's on your bench?
I have David Johnson.
Yeah, he's out. So
he's out.
He's got COVID, I think.
Yep.
I got Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah.
I got Tony Pollard, Ayuk, Salvin Ahmed, Michael Pittman, and Austin Hooper. So
Hooper's probably out again. I would find a way to get Ayuk in your lineup.
Yeah, Ayuk, but the problem is wide receiver is not where I'm.
Who are your receivers right now?
Well, maybe swap him out for Robinson.
My wide receivers are Robinson, Metcalf, and Devontae Adams in my flex.
Yeah.
That's not where I'm weak, obviously.
Yeah. Obviously,
It's
I mean
that one running back.
That's that one running back spot.
Adrian Peterson. So
go to who's on waivers
for running backs.
Yeah.
We've got Wilson Jr.
Oh,
pick him up.
Yeah, pick him up. Yeah, pick him up and drop Austin Hooper, and then your problem is solved.
Yeah,
and play Jeff Wilson.
Yeah.
Wait.
Championship.
Drop Austin Hooper.
Yes. And pick up Wilson.
And pick up Wilson. Okay, and then play Wilson instead of Peterson.
Yep.
Who? What other running backs? You might want to pick up somebody and drop Ahmed too.
Okay, let me see. Hold on. One thing at a time.
Is this a ESPN league?
Yeah.
Okay.
The app's not great. What other running backs are available?
Yep.
Did I just say Barber?
Peyton Barber.
Nah.
Singletary.
No.
Bowden Jr. Gus Edwards.
That's tempting.
Patterson for Cordell.
Yeah, Cordell.
Patterson. Yeah.
Smith. Ido Smith.
Yeah, the only Gus Edwards is.
It just gets worse and worse.
And Bowden.
And Bowden, yeah. I would probably just to have him, because you never know. I would pick up Edwards and drop Ahmed, wouldn't y'all?
Yeah.
Pick up Edwards and drop Ahmed. Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet.
All right, gives you more options. Yeah. Also, picking up Edwards also makes sure that your opponent, your brother, doesn't.
What defenses are available?
Hold on.
Because I'm not sold on your Cardinals defense.
Yeah, I mean they've done well for me. Who'd you say I should drop?
Ahmed.
Yeah, because he's done.
So
my defense has done well for me.
Okay.
But here, let me tell you what the defenses that are available.
I actually like the Cardinals this week against
Philadelphia.
Yeah,
it's not bad, but I'm just
on Jalen Hurts now.
I mean, if the Rams are out there, the Rams playing the Jets, I would pick up the
Dolphins, Titans, Bills, Patriots, Vikings.
Who are the Bills playing?
Bills are playing
Broncos.
Denver.
So you don't know.
You don't know.
So okay, you're good.
Yeah.
So
sweet.
So you're talking about defenses real quick. So Paul and I had a text conversation about this yesterday. So I had the Baltimore defense, and they are not the Baltimore defense of old.
No, they're still in and out with COVID.
Yeah. And going into the Cleveland game on Monday, I thought for sure, a couple of sacks, and I really wasn't too worried about the number of points they would give up, because in our league there is a bottom of 0. So I couldn't go negative on that. And like I said, they did get the interception, but didn't do anything with it. So this week, Baltimore is playing Jacksonville, which should be a pretty good matchup. Jacksonville isn't doing much, so I'm holding on to that. But what I did do, because I had some room on my roster, I had some people I could get rid of, I went ahead and picked up the Cleveland defense. So normally I'm against having 2 defenses, but right now on my roster, should I get past the semifinals, which honestly I don't think I will. I have a tough matchup this week. But if I do, then next week I have Cleveland ready to roll against the Jets. And the Jets are not trying at all. They cannot score. So I'm hoping that, thinking ahead there, planning ahead, can pay off if I happen to make it to the championship game. So that I think we talked a little bit about it last week with defense. It's kind of looking ahead to see what the matchups are in case you do get that far. And like I said, luckily the Browns were out there. And actually the Browns are not a bad play this week because they're playing the Giants. But I'm going to go ahead with the Ravens against Jacksonville, and then hopefully be able to use the Browns next week.
All right, so what do you think about that? Grayson already gave my opinion. I think he should totally roll the dice with Cleveland this week. What do you think about that, Grayson?
Great minds think alike. I picked up Cleveland this week, and I'm playing Cleveland this week against the Giants. That offense, guys, oh my. It's not very good at all. I mean, they have been really rocky. And then, of course, you get the Browns in the championship against the Jets. Yeah. So, they're a surefire pickup if you don't have an elite defense.
All right, so on Steve's advice in my league, I also picked up the Browns. because we were talking about this. And now I also have the Bears defense against the Vikings.
Yeah.
So Bears against the Vikings or Browns against the Giants.
In that case, I'd go and use the Browns this week.
Okay.
Browns
right.
also.
We're gonna do it.
Here's another. So in this league, my first 2 picks were Saquon Barkley and Joe Mixon. So yeah, so I've been screwed pretty much the whole season. So the fact that I even made the playoffs and actually won the first round is a miracle. So here's my lineup right now for the semifinals. I have Kyler Murray. So my choices there are Murray or Mayfield. We're also feeling good about Murray, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
In that one. My running backs are Kenyon Drake and Mike Davis.
I'm fine with that.
Yep. So here's and my other running back choices would be Singletary, Chase Edmonds, or Bernard.
Yeah.
Giovanni Bernard.
Bernard fumbled once last week and he didn't play again for a quarter and a half.
So my receivers are Robinson, and right now I have Christian Kirk in there because I kind of feel like I need a Hail Mary this week. So I'm going for the combo of Murray and Kirk, maybe connecting and doubling my points. My other options for receiver would be Higgins, Mike Williams, and that's it. Those are my only receivers.
I like Higgins lately. I mean, he's with Beckham out.
Right now I have Higgins in my flex.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Oh, I have Robert Woods. I have Robert Woods in my flex. I have Higgins in another running back receiver spot.
I'm good with that.
So I guess the better question, is there anybody on my bench? Singletary, Mayfield, Mike Williams, Chase Edmonds, Giovanni Bernard, or have Gaskin, but he's going to be out. Are any of those, should I move them into my starting lineup?
I don't think so.
Oh, gosh. I don't really like Higgins without Burrow. Oh, man. That's tough, but I don't like
Are you talking T. Higgins or Rashard Higgins?
Rashard
Higgins.
Rashard Higgins.
Browns.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So if Mike Williams, if I feel a little bit better about Mike Williams, I'll plug him into that Higgins spot. But right now I have Higgins.
If you want a true Hail Mary, then play Mike Williams.
Yeah.
Well, that's because Christian Kirk has not done much the last 3 or 4 weeks. But I guess he has a good matchup this week against whoever may be covering him with the Eagles. So, like I said, I'm going to need some kind of edge. So if Murray and Kirk can hook up for, at least one touchdown, I'm doubling my points right there. So that's kind of what I'm thinking about.
Yeah. All right. Okay. All right. That was mine. My only question this week, honestly, is in my flex, do I play Jeff Wilson Jr. or Juju? Because Kenny Golladay just continues to be out. Otherwise, it would be him. But
I'd go with Wilson.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with Wilson.
So okay, yeah, I would go with Wilson as well.
Yeah. Now, if Raheem Mostert miraculously rises from the dead and plays, maybe I change that. But
yeah, they did an MRI on him today. You're not doing that unless you're really concerned about something for at least this week. Okay. So Wilson's playing. We haven't even talked about who Wilson's playing. They're playing the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, I would play him. But guys, I got to ask y'all a question too, because I'm in a dilemma here. So my starters, I got Jonathan Taylor and David Montgomery locked in at running back. And my team also has Christian McCaffrey and Mike Davis. But right now I'm going with those two. But in the flex, I have Chris Godwin, Deontay Johnson, and I'm going to start Ayuk and Hopkins at wide receiver. But I have Godwin, Deontay Johnson at flex, Mike Davis, or Kareem Hunt, all for my flex spots. Who would y'all play? You get to play 2 of them.
Let's see. So Mike Davis, Godwin,
Deontay Johnson, Kareem Hunt.
Kareem Hunt.
Do you think Deontay Johnson might be in the doghouse a little bit because of the drops that he's had?
I think that the Steelers receivers. And here's the other thing: if you watch the Steelers the other day, Ben was Johnny Noodle Arm. Yeah. For a lot of that game, he didn't look like he had it. Ben can complain about his receivers all he wants, but his arm is looking every bit of 39 years old. So
I would try to get Davis in that lineup somehow.
Yeah, I would say Davis in the lineup, and I like Kareem Hunt.
That's what I
like Kareem Hunt
over Godwin.
Yeah.
versus Atlanta.
Yeah, they're playing Atlanta.
Yeah, but see,
and I have Tom Brady as my quarterback.
Okay. Yeah, go for the double up.
I'd probably leave Godwin in there, but I try to find a way to get Davis. I like Davis over Hunt.
Yeah.
Because Davis isn't sharing it really with anybody.
No, Hunt is just in that offense is that they use them both so prolifically, so you can play him and not worry about not. He's not going to get a goose egg if Kareem Hunt's in there. So
and I don't think that game's going to be a shootout. I think the Browns should get up comfortably. So then it's Nick Chubb time.
Yeah.
So, now who do you put Davis in over?
I'm putting him in over Deontay Johnson if I'm going to do it.
I know that hurts you. I know you're a big Deontay Johnson supporter.
I am, but you know what? This team, I got a lot of options. And, I mean, guys, I'm also benching Amari Cooper. I have Will Fuller on my bench. I mean, this team's loaded just with no CMC.
You know what?
It's not.
You know what?
That's an easy league.
Just turn him off with this team he's got.
It's a keeper league, guys.
Okay.
And it's 4 keepers, and so that's why I have so many good players on my roster because my keepers are very, very good.
All right. Let's go to Stacy's questions, and then we'll get to start 'em, sit 'em.
Right.
Is it safe to drop Christian McCaffrey or Antonio Gibson?
That's a good question.
Do not drop Christian McCaffrey because you might get him back for the championship. You might get him this week. I doubt it.
I don't think so, but yeah.
Gibson, I think, is going to be out another couple weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a turf toe for a running back is a hard thing.
Oh, but I would only cut either one of those if there's definitely somebody you can pick up that's going to give you some immediate value.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Well, look, we kind of just answered this. Is Rashard Higgins worth a flex spot against the Giants or Jets in the next couple weeks? Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, I think we did. Yeah, he absolutely is. Is Miles Sanders safe to start again with Jalen Hurts now under center?
Yes.
Yeah.
Play Miles Sanders every week. Play him.
Now that the Carson Wentz problem is kind of solved for the Eagles, which I was kind of upset that they figured out.
Well, I think
not that Jalen Hurts is going to be really great, but like what Jalen Hurts does for the Philly offense, which I can't believe Doug Peterson couldn't figure out, is look. I know that Carson Wentz has this laser rocket arm, but he's trying to do too much. So what their offense should have been Miles Sanders, Boston Scott, and those tight ends until they figured out. Until Carson Wentz can get his head right. And when you put Jalen Hurts in there, that's exactly what their offense becomes. So you could have done that with the guy you're paying $1 billion to.
Yeah, yeah.
Or it just didn't make sense to me what they did. So, yeah, I like that. Miles Sanders for sure now that Jalen Hurts is in. Okay. Any Tampa Bay wide receiver worth playing against the Falcons? I think we said Godwin. Yeah. You like Antonio Brown in daily fantasy season long.
Yes. Season long, probably not so much, but daily fantasy.
But and Mike Evans has been such feast or famine.
Yep.
We'll see what happens with him. I still think he's one of the best players in the league. It's just I don't know if he something's going on. There's too many cooks in the kitchen or something in Tampa, and they're still a good team. All right, start 'em, sit 'em, Steve.
All right, we'll go through this quickly. Quarterbacks, I like Lamar Jackson. I think he's found his groove. He has a great matchup this week against Jacksonville.
As long as he didn't get the trots.
Yep. He got that out of his system. He came back in and helped me get in field goal range.
Now, John McClain told us yesterday that it was cramps, but, you can get other things with cramps, too. I'm just telling you.
I saw how he was running. I've made that run myself before. It wasn't the cramps.
Yeah, I kept waiting for John Harbaugh when they asked me, listen, maybe Taco Bell was not the best choice as a pregame meal.
Yep. So I like Lamar Jackson. I like Trubisky. He's been playing well. He gets beat up some, by everybody, but I think Minnesota's a good matchup for him. I do not like Matt Ryan. I do not like Cam Newton.
I do not like them in a box. I do not like them with a fox.
Thank you I was hoping you would pick up on it. Running backs, I do like. We've already talked about them. I like David Montgomery. I like Chris Carson. I like Jeff Wilson. I think Wilson's a no-brainer. He's available in a lot of waivers. So if you're listening and you haven't peeked at that, you might want to look and just see. You might be surprised that he's out there.
Also, what happens is when people don't pick people up and you've got 4 teams left, some of the 4 teams they're not going to use them.
Yeah.
So I'm the 8th seed. So, believe me, I'm using the waivers like crazy to try to match up with these other teams in the league. That's the 1, 2, and 3 that are left. I'm playing. And so, yeah.
Running backs I do not like. The Miami running back situation is kind of a mess right now. Gaskin's been out. Ahmed is banged up. So it's looking like DeAndre Washington, who, if you got to plug somebody in there, just because they're going to get some volume, but it's going to be a tough matchup running against New England. I also don't like Clyde Edwards-Helaire for the Chiefs this week. Receivers I like. We've already talked about Ayuk. I think that's great. Terry McLaurin against Seattle. I think that's a good matchup. They should be behind. Again, pay attention to who's going to be the quarterback there. Obviously, McLaurin is better when Smith is at the QB position. Receivers I do not like. I do not like Tyler Boyd this week against Pittsburgh. And I do not like CeeDee Lamb this week against the 49ers. I think the 49ers are going to win that game. And I think Dalton's going to.
Well, see, both teams have to, the Cowboys have to win out, and the Redskins have to, the football team has to lose out for them to get in the playoffs. Yeah. So while Dwayne Haskins might start one game, I don't think Washington's going to lose out because I think they still have to play Philly. Maybe are they playing Philly this week?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Arizona's playing Philly. Yep.
So, they still have to play
Washington's
Philly.
Washington's playing Seattle.
Yep. So I don't think they're going to lose out. And so the Cowboys are done, and the 49ers have to win that game to get in the playoffs.
Yep. Tight ends, I do like Hunter Henry if he's healthy. I'm praying to God he has a good game. He's
no injury designation right now.
Right,
Practice and full
today.
Good. So.
And again, I mentioned him earlier. If you need someone to plug in there, I like Cole Kmet with the Bears.
Grayson.
All right, let's do it. So I'm differing with Steve a little bit on quarterbacks, and this is a really sneaky play, and it's only if Julio Jones is playing. But I think Matt Ryan can have a really good week this week. He continues to not impress against bad teams, and then he'll have a good week out of nowhere. I think this could be the week. I have a feeling that might be a bit of a shootout between Brady and Ryan. I love Brady this week. I like Justin Herbert this week. I also mentioned Phillip Rivers a little bit earlier. Guys I'm not in love with this week. Baker Mayfield. I think he comes back down to reality a little bit. The Giants are pretty good, but I do think Cleveland's going to win, so I think they're going to run the ball a lot more than maybe they have in the past few weeks where he's been so successful. At running back, I really, really like DeAndre Swift this week against Tennessee. I think they're going to feed him and feed him and feed him. On the flip side, I think Tennessee's going to do the same thing with Derrick Henry, so really love both of those guys. Obviously, you're playing Derrick Henry no matter what. I really like Cam Akers this week. I mentioned Damian Harris. I think he's a pretty sneaky start against Miami. And also J.D. McKissick. I mean, as long as Antonio Gibson's out and you're in a PPR league, J.D. McKissick is going to get some touches. Guys I don't really like. I'm not a huge fan of DeAndre Washington, who Steve mentioned. New England's got a pretty decent defense, and I know Miami had a good offensive production last week. I don't really trust them too much. I also don't like Nyheim Hines this week because I do think that Jonathan Taylor is going to get the lion's share of the carries against Houston, and I think they're going to be up, which is good game script for Jonathan Taylor. At wide receiver, we mentioned Brandon Ayuk. Love him this week. I think he's going to be fantastic. I love T.Y. Hilton this week, again against Houston. Bad defense. I like Chris Godwin, another really good matchup there for him. I think that a guy to watch if Matthew Stafford is playing, I think Marvin Jones would get back on track if Matthew Stafford is playing, of course. As far as guys I don't like really at wide receiver, I'm trying to stay away from Corey Davis this week. I mentioned my reason for it. I think Derrick Henry is going to get a ton of touches, and when that does happen, it's only going to one of Corey Davis or A.J. Brown. I think Brown gets the lion's share of the work this week. I'm also not a huge fan of the Carolina receivers. So Robbie Anderson, Curtis Samuel. I don't even know if DJ Moore is playing this week. I don't think he is.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, he is? Okay. Yeah. I don't really love that matchup. Green Bay's been really good against the pass. I just think it could be a little bit of a rough game for them. So that's that at wide receiver. I'll do quickly tight ends. I really like Hunter Henry this week. We're starting him. I like him. I think he could have a nice week. I also think Eric Ebron against Cincinnati is a good play this week. If he's on the free agent wire, I would definitely look at him.
All right, guys. Great stuff. again, we'll be back again next week.
Yes, Christmas week.
Christmas week. So on Christmas Eve, right?
Is it? Yes.
Yes, on Christmas Eve.
Yep.
Or it's Christmas Eve, not Christmas Eve. So I don't know why I made that joke. But all right, so that's going to do it for us. If you have questions for us, hit us up on Twitter at Paul Catalina, at Greg Grundhafer, at Armstrong Sims. You can become one of Armstrong's Army.
Yes.
Best fans in the world.
And at Centex Commish.
That's correct.
So, yeah. I mean,
good luck in your playoffs if you're still going. Good luck. If you're out, again, don't pick up anybody on waivers.
My mood on this show will be very determined by what happens in this league on Sunday, because I have had to scrap and claw, and I have like this little glimmer of hope to get in the championship game. And if I can make that glimmer into a full, bright, sunshiny light, you will see me beaming, because my whole, none of my top draft picks have been in the lineup at the same time all season long. So if I do it, I'm going to taunt the people in my league mercilessly for the next 9 months. I promise you that. That is what I'm going to do. And I'm not that guy. Am I that guy?
Sometimes.
Sometimes I'm that guy. All right, that's going to do it for us. Thanks to Brotherwell Brewing. Thanks to Richard Carr, Buick GMC Cadillac. Have a great week, everybody, and we'll talk to you next Wednesday.